I know I'm not the only one dealing with the entitlement of the generation behind us. Hey, hey, it's the seasoned lady coming back at you with another video, trying my level best to figure out why the generation coming up behind us, i.e., our children, feel like they are entitled to anything and everything. I gave birth to two of them. I'm an auntie to a bunch of them. I work with a bunch of them. And I'm just trying to figure out how they determined that there are certain things that they are entitled to. I got another friend that has a 21 and a 23-year-old still living at home. They don't contribute anything. They barely come out of their rooms. The only time they speak to you or need or talk to you is when they need something from you or they're asking you what you cooking. They don't clean up behind themselves. I'm just trying to figure out, where did we, the seasoned folks, where did we go wrong with this generation of people? My parents and grandparents didn't play that. You didn't lay around in the bed all day. You didn't stay in your room. You spoke when you entered a room. You didn't feel entitled to anything, and you gave gratitude for everything. And I call myself raising mine the same way I was raised. But for some reason, the next generation feels like things ought to be given to them simply because they deserve it or because we as parents have it. Now, I can't speak for anybody else, but I worked for every single thing that I have. Nothing was given to me. Yes, I live in a semi small town, and my family knows people, and I'm sure I got some things because of who my people were, or this person knew that person, or what have you. But nothing was outright given to me, and I certainly didn't treat people like they were required to give me anything. So what is the deal with the entitlement of this next generation? And I know that some of it has to be our fault. We are responsible in some shape, form, or fashion for some of it. So I'm sitting out here in the gazebo. I'm at a friend's house, and I just experienced some of the things that I just told you about. So I decided I'm going to jump on and have a conversation with my people about what's going on with this generation. Now, I got some notes here, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, I know I'm not alone in this. And I have two amazing children. I have two wonderful children. They both work, they live away from home. They don't depend on me for a whole lot. But, they come home for break and they expect that the refrigerator is going to be packed. They want me to cook all their favorite things. And then they don't want to do anything. They don't even want to bring their plates, into the kitchen for me to wash them, let alone take it upon themselves to wash the dishes. Now, I know a lot of that's my fault. I've always picked up behind them and done things, but does there ever become a time where you just do it because you know it's the right thing to do? Or do you simply continue to allow people to do for you as long as they are willing to do? That's the $1,000,000 question. Now, the neighbors got some dogs. I guess they decided that, in the midst of my video was the time for them to bark, because it has been completely quiet out here the entire time that I was out here. And then the minute I press record on my video, the dogs choose to start barking. But I'm just trying to understand the entitlement thing. I work with a bunch of young people that do nothing but complain. And I came from a place that was much more difficult, a much more difficult work environment from the one that we're working in now. I consider it a blessing to be where I am currently and doing the things that I am currently doing. And so I can't understand for the life of me what all the complaints about. They complain about the money. They complain about the work. They complain about the people. They complain about everything. And I just don't understand it, because I'm doing the same things that they're doing and I don't have the same complaints. So, I mean, what happened? What happened to this generation of people that feel like, they can say whatever they want to say, they can do things how they want to do things, and there should be no consequence? Now, I don't know if everyone else has raised their children the way I raised them. I don't know if it's the social media. I don't know what's going on with this group of people or how it happened. But I got a few ideas here. And I want to run them past you. And then you guys tell me what you think. Please, please comment. Let me know what's going on in your lives. Me and my friends, we sit down, we discuss these things with this next generation of people. And we have yet to come up with a solution other than we should have done some things differently. But I know the societal norms and the internet and a lot of that, plays a big role in it. So I came up with 3 things that I think are the reasons for why the entitlement is so huge, with these young adults. And if you can come up with some more, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment and let me know. The first one is I think that we are what was called helicopter parents. We don't want our kids to suffer. We wanted them to have more than we had. We wanted them to be happy. We didn't want anybody to challenge them. We didn't want them to have to make any sacrifices. So we just kind of went along with the go along. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm back. I had to pause for a minute because the dogs in the area just got out of control. I don't know what in the world happened and why they decided they needed to start barking right in the middle of my video. But nevertheless, I'm back here to talk about this entitled Next Generation. Okay, so I think I was talking about being a helicopter parent and protecting our kids from everything and trying to shield them from as much as we possibly could. And I think that gave them a false sense of security, as well as thinking we would always be here to do that for them. I'm not just sure. What are your thoughts on that? Number 2, these kids, this generation, they crave instant gratification. They want it and they want it now. That's it and that's all. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to work a little bit harder for the things that we want. Sometimes gratification is delayed. I try to teach mine that what you want will come when it's time. It may not come when you want it, but it's always right on time. And patience is a thing that we must learn. Sometimes we just got to wait on it. Everything is not just going to come to you because you deserve it. Who determines what is deserved for whom? So, instant gratification is not a thing. Sometimes you get gratification instantly. Sometimes you have to wait on it. But I believe that if you learn to exercise some gratitude for what you currently have and a little bit of patience, and both will go quite a long way. The last thing is that I believe that they feel like they should be rewarded just for showing up. And, it doesn't require much more than that. I'm here. I showed up. I may not have done all the things that you wanted me to do, but I'm here, so I need to be paid for my time and my efforts. And it just doesn't always work like that. There are no participation trophies in this lifetime. Now, I don't believe in hard work. I personally believe in smart work. You work smart so that you don't have to work hard. And you may not receive instant gratification, but you will at some point be rewarded for what you have done as long as you do your best at it and you typically do things for the right reason. Every now and then, your reasoning might not be the same as somebody else's, but typically if it's for the right reason, everything will be okay. So, I'm just curious. Am I the only person that's dealing with this? I know that I'm not, because I have, a group of people that I talk to, and I know that they are going through, many of the same things, or they have experienced the same things. Because as I said, my 2 are adults. They no longer live in the house with me. They don't fully depend on me for anything. But when they do come home and when I am around, there are some things that I know that they do on their own each and every day. But when mom is there, they typically want me to do it. We go on vacation. Mom, I know you got it. I know you're going to get it. They don't expect otherwise. So I'm just curious. Seasoned folks, And even my young people, at what point do you take full responsibility for yourself and all the things that come along with that? I would just love to know. Like I said, I have two wonderful children. My friends, I think their kids are amazing, but they give us a run for our money sometimes as parents. And I'm watching, because I am a people watcher, I'm watching the young people at work, I'm watching the young people in different settings, and I'm seeing a lot of the same things. And I think it is just a sign of the times. However, I'd love to get to the bottom of, what's causing this. So now that we have decided or figured out how all of this happened and how this generation became entitled or all of a sudden feel the way we feel, now we got to determine what we're going to do about it, or if we're going to do anything about it. Are we just going to ride out with it because they're adults and let them figure out the hard way? Are we going to try to instill some different things in our grandkids? What are we going to do about it? How can we fix this? I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. I know that many of you are dealing with the same things. So tell me some of the ways that you're dealing with it. And if you're not dealing with it, then tell us some of the things that you did so we can help those that are coming up. Because I'm watching the next generation and they're getting even more than our kids got. They are also using a lot of today's technology. So trying to get them to not be entitled is going to be a task in itself. So let's talk about it. How did you handle it? I feel like we are a generation of wisdom and we have a lot to share with others. So I think that we just need to tap in on this thing. We don't need to tiptoe around it and pretend like it's not happening, because everywhere I go, I'm seeing the same thing. So it's the Seasoned Lady coming back at you with another video. I would greatly appreciate you liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and giving me some feedback on this thing, because it's a small epidemic, not quite yet a pandemic. And I want these young people to have successful lives, and feeling like you are entitled to or that you deserve something just because is not the answer today. And I would much rather love them through this than society beat them up through it. So until the next time, I'll talk to you soon.